here to unveil a new product that we're launching today. So it's pretty exciting. Just to give you a bit of background though, Partisia blockchain specializes in zero-knowledge technologies. So sharing secrets, privacy-preserving computation. But in the industry, zero-knowledge proof is something that is talked about quite often. And it's when two parties can share a secret. So if you or I want to determine whose bank balance is larger, but we don't want to know exactly how much is there, a zero-knowledge proof can give you that answer. But what we do is we provide multi-party computation, which is the next level above zero-knowledge proof. So it's a way for multiple parties to compute on private data. So this entire room could perform that same computation, and it could show who has the largest bank balance without giving away any of the secret data that's inside. So we use our MPC technology for a wide range of use cases. One is voting, for example. So we do private voting contracts. So this whole room could vote for the next president, and no one would be able to figure out who voted for what, but the outcome would be transparent on-chain who the winner was, and there's this modular, flexible ability to also program the contracts so that we could whitelist who was voting. You would know exactly who did vote, just not what they voted for. But today, what we're doing with MPC is we're delivering the first ever open source, decentralized on-chain custody product using MPC. So I'm not sure if you've had the same experience that I have, but it's something that's always bothered me, which is when you go to use a custody provider, it's a lot of onboarding, talking to sales teams, getting quotes back and forth just to be able to use their technology. There's a high barrier to entry as well as a very high cost. So what we're doing is we are delivering a solution that basically enables any of us here to, with a few button clicks, deploy our own secure MPC environments, assign our counterparties, whether it's a few friends that we want to secure our money together, where we each will need to sign a transaction in order to release the funds, or whether you're a DAO who wants to have the treasury managed by all the DAO members, or even banking institutions who want to do really advanced escrow transactions amongst multiple parties. So this is sort of the background of the way the current industry functions. So you have custody vendors. That's the sort of easy, go to Coinbase custody, Binance custody, sign up. They give you a quote, how much they're going to charge you every month, and you just give them your funds. So not your keys, not your coins. That's not really an acceptable solution for true blockchain developers and users, right? But that being said, it does solve a problem for the non-advanced users who just want someone to protect their money, and they hope for the best. Multi-sig, everyone's kind of heard the term multi-sig. So there are some vendors like BitGo. It's not universally compatible with all protocols, so you can't just, maybe multi-sig doesn't work on one chain and it works on another. It's tied to a wallet address as well. So everything that is done in a multi-sig contract is totally transparent on chain. There's no privacy. Threshold signature schemes, this is a really advanced, amazing technology. That's specifically kind of what we're doing, is making threshold signature schemes available for the world to just use with a few open source, button click deployments. The current companies and industry leaders like Fireblocks and Zengo offer this service. But again, onboarding's rough, and there's six-figure fees. If an asset isn't integrated already, it could take them years to choose to integrate it. With Partisia blockchain, if you want an asset integrated for custody, you can actually deploy it yourself and then send it to the node operators to decide if they want to include it in the product. So it's a much more open, collaborative approach than working with these centralized companies. So this is who we're here to disrupt right there. Account abstraction is very new. It's not fully programmable. It's only EVM right now, so there's a lot of work. So with all this background, the product we launched today we call MOCCA, MPC On-Chain Custody Advanced Solution. Long name, but it's a very simple product. So MOCCA, at a glance here, it's all about programmability, right? So you're able to add all sorts of features on top of this custody product. So it's not just you deploy funds and it sits there and it's locked with multiple parties. you can do all sorts of things. You can add and remove keys. You can have voting power on the custodied assets, so maybe it's balanced a bit heavier towards one party rather than another. You can have transaction category rules, so all types of different outcomes can be pre-generated. You can have NFTs with permissions assigned to them. But most importantly is you can sign the keys offline in a secure way amongst multiple parties, and it will unlock the funds as the way that you program it. So it's, this is actually an industry first here. It's the first time that this type of MPC technology is being made available in a decentralized fashion, where, like I mentioned earlier, you want to integrate a new asset, you don't need to call the company and beg. You can literally just put it forward to a vote amongst node operators and do the deployment through the open source instructions that Partisia blockchain provides. So there's sort of 3 types of ways you can use MOCCA. So the first one is already live now, and what we call a BYOC bridge, bring your own coin. So when I say anyone can choose an asset they want integrated, we call it BYOC, bring your own coin. So you can, right now we have Ethereum, Polygon, USDC from a few different chains, BNB. So we're adding Bitcoin, which is a big one, ADA. So we're rapidly now doing integrations with new assets, but as I mentioned, it's open and collaborative, so other developers can also join the party and deploy their own. So you can bridge your assets across our MPC bridge, which is 100 nodes being run and with the threshold signature scheme that basically is collateralized with MPC tokens, and it requires 2/3 of nodes to verify each block. So this is running now. You can just start bridging funds over, and it acts as a sort of decentralized instant custody solution where we have pre-programmed contracts you can use to lock funds and assign multiple parties to participate. So solution 2 is coming next. This is probably a 3 to 6 month roadmap here. But you will not have to bridge funds. We actually are able to, you can deploy Ethereum into a custody contract on the native network of Ethereum, and you can use Partisia blockchain to sign and allow multiple parties to control the assets on a native chain. And then solution 3 is by far the coolest, and that is where all assets on any chain don't even need to be deployed into local smart contracts. You can actually just use the threshold signature scheme on Partisia blockchain to dictate how those funds are managed. So it's totally lightweight and completely flexible and programmable. So I kind of dove in and gave the details of each 3 on that slide, but this is just a bigger graphic about what we just talked about. So this is the BYOC bridge. This is when you're using smart contracts on other networks. That's 3 to 6 months until we release solution 2. And then solution 3 is 6 to 12 months away. So really it comes down to what are the actual advantages. So, and there's a lot. So you don't need protocol support for MPC. All key pieces of these transactions are signed off-chain, which is really important because when you're signing keys on-chain, everything's transparent. There's opportunities for hackers or man-in-the-middle attacks so that they can change the interface that you're plugging your key into if you were hooked online. So if you're able to sign offline on local machines, it's much more secure. So all the nodes used for the computations of keys are also independent and decentralized. So when you're working with fire blocks, they're using maybe hardware in a warehouse somewhere they're controlling. But we actually are an open source blockchain with 100 node operators and growing. So those are who's managing all the keys. Only the final signature is recorded on chain. So again, third parties can't kind of monitor and see where the key signing is coming from. So there's a lot more privacy and security. But then the flexibility of the programmability. This is, for me, the coolest thing about the product is you can have policy and governance configurations built into the multi-party computation custody. So I think it's really important for DAOs, for example. They have these large treasuries. There's publicly viewable funds that are being managed. and now they can actually have the DAO token holders be a part of the treasury, the security of the management of that treasury. So there's tons of hacks that are happening day in and day out of the industry. So MOCCA is the solution that's, I think, going to solve this huge problem. Keys can also be refreshed or recover in the event of loss. I mean, that's something that isn't really available in the market. Ledger said that they were going to change the code so that they could help you recover your key. Everyone freaked out about that. So it's not like a third party that's going to be able to monitor or alter your keys. You can program backup solutions into MOCCA. So you can create your own backups and not rely on the third parties like Fireblocks or Ledger. So again, public network, low cost of deployment, and then the dApps that can build around this technology are pretty much endless. So super exciting. So how does Partisia blockchain magically have this breakthrough technology? Well, it wasn't an overnight deliverable. My co-founders are a bit older than I am. I'm the youngest guy in the team, I think. But they've been involved in advanced cryptography and building MPC technology since the 80s. So this is Ivan Damgard. He's one of the co-inventors of the Merkle-Damgard hash function, which is like SHA-2, leading to Bitcoin, SHA-256. So these are some of the most cited cryptographers in the world. If you look them up, we have over 1,000 research papers that have been published amongst this team. So in 2008, we ran the first ever MPC computation to do a private auction. So everyone's bids were kept private inside of the smart contract, and only the winner at the end was revealed. So it was actually a sugar auction that the Danish government ran. So you can, if you Google like MPC goes live, that was the title of the paper, you can see the initial paper that was the first ever commercial use case of MPC, and that was from Partisia in 2008. So we decided to build the layer 1 blockchain in 2018. And then it took about 2 years to scope everything out, decide what tech stack we want to use, and then form a Swiss foundation. So it took about 15 months to get our foundation open because it was in process during COVID, so things slowed down drastically. And now we've been running a mainnet for about 1.5 years, and so we're launching the token, which is called the MPC token, in the next couple months on exchanges. So it'll be available to buy and deploy and run solutions like MOCCA. All in all, about 35 years of research and development between the team members has gone into this. So, we work with NGOs, governments. We'll be signing a partnership with the governments next month and announcing that. We work with the Red Cross, for example. We've established a private payment network for their beneficiaries, so they can run stable coins inside of private smart contracts that they control. So it protects the end user. A beneficiary can receive funds and it won't be identifiable from, a lot of times they're working in crisis zones, whether it's war or just, disaster areas after a natural disaster. And unfortunately in these zones there's a lot of corruption, fraud, and also criminal theft that finds NGO money that was given out to locals and they come steal it. So our private smart contracts are able to benefit the end user where they have this level of privacy where no one can see that they've received the money. So it's a much more secure way to deliver aid. This is more details about the bring your own coin payment system and how that works. So on our chain, you're actually paying gas fees in the tokens you bridge over. So the MPC token is for collateralizing and running nodes that facilitate the bridge. And then all the fees that the node operators receive are from liquid tokens from other chains. So it alleviates this circular economy where you constantly are mining and then having to sell the product you're mining, which is the same token you're using to collateralize the node. So it's we think creates a more stable token economy. Sharding is for scalability. So in theory, our chain is infinite scalability, and the reason is you can just add another shard each time you need to be able to handle more transaction throughput. We don't think we're going to go over 1,000 shards, which gets you about 1,000 transactions per second each. So, millions of transactions a second is ready to go on Partisia blockchain. This is just really technical stuff about how our sharding works compared to some of the others. So I won't bore you with it now, but we'll publish this presentation. So if you are interested in the more technical ways that the chain is working, you can dive in. But this is it. If you want to, help build MOCCA and add assets, this is our GitLab right here. As I mentioned, it's a collaborative open source network, so anybody can build and deploy. If you just want to talk partnerships, build at partisiablockchain.com, and then all of our socials are here linked here at the bottom. So when we publish this on our website, you can click all the links. But that's it. So thanks everyone for joining us on our product launch announcement. We were live streaming as well, so hello to everyone who's watching from home. And we look forward to rolling this out and seeing how the market responds. I think it's a product anybody can use to secure their money on the blockchain, which is, billions of dollars a year are lost in hacks and other, mismanaged keys. So make sure not your keys, not your coins. Make sure that you use the blockchain the way it's supposed to be used. Don't give your money to somebody else to hold for you. Cheers.
Thank you so much.